Deadwood, episode 23. The Horrors Can Come. Nearly to the end of season 2 now. I know. What happened in The Horrors Can Come?
Well, this episode centres around the funeral of William.
Yep.
And the arrangements, who's now confirmed to be dead.
Yes.
It's all centred around the funeral of William and how the town come together and react to that. That's most of what the episode's about, really.
Yes.
There's some political machinations with that.
With Hugo Jarry.
Yep. And there's stuff with Mr. Wu's rival, the San Francisco cocksucker.
Mr. Lee and Mr. Wu.
Who opens up this episode in an unexpected manner by burning the corpses of dead Chinese whores.
That is a horrifying
horrifying
scene, yes.
It opens up with Al kind of walking around the camp and he's like, I thought it was like, it smells like shit today, or something like that. And then he turns around and there's smoke coming and you see Mr. Lee by the fire, and then they chuck the horse onto the fire and be like, Jesus Christ, and Mr. Wu's outraged by this.
As you would be, yes.
Mr. Wu wants their the ashes
given back to China because he believes that will be the only way to get their souls back to their God.
Yeah.
Yes.
And Al's like, I don't give a shit.
Yes, he's trying to delay it until he can talk with Mr. Hurst.
Yes. Who,
mild spoiler, is in the next episode. That's sort of what the show builds to.
Yeah.
Which is fairly obvious from Mr. Hurst is coming. That sort of fires up Cy and Wilcott to have a exchange. But you're right, majority of this episode is taken up with the characters reacting to the funeral of William.
Yes.
And how that galvanises the community of Deadwood. What did you think of this episode?
I loved it.
It was another
amazing episode.
It was, again, just like the last one, very sad and philosophical.
Contemplative.
Yes. Yeah. Brilliant monologue with Mrs. Garrett.
Oh yeah.
Where she talks to what's the kid called? Sophia.
Sophia, yeah.
And says all the stuff about how we are as much people in our pain as in our happiness, and all this stuff about. Again, the main theme of the show, coming together and sharing your happiness and sadness to make a greater whole.
Yes.
Is what they're trying to do in there. I think this is one of the best episodes.
I think so as well.
Far.
Yeah, I agree.
Not much happened, but it was so sad and one of the funniest as well, unexpectedly.
Yeah.
Not overall funny as in laugh out loud again and again like.
I was surprised at the placement of the jokes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean. This one sees Al acting a bit more aloof.
Yeah.
He pretends not to care, but he does really.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I love the shot where like he's sneakily watching out. He's watching the funeral, and then when he sees his men coming back, he quickly goes back inside and comes back out and pretends like, oh yeah, how'd it go? Kind of thing.
There's that. Yeah. There's this one actually has a lot of similarities to episode 11 of season 1. Jules' boot is made for walking.
Oh yeah.
That one ended on the brilliant monologue where he gets a blowjob. And what happens at the end of this one?
Yeah.
No,
yeah. Yeah, it was good to see that happen again.
Yeah, he gets a blowjob again from the same prostitute. Also, I thought that there's a brilliant scene where like Seth, basically Mrs. Bullock runs into the house during the funeral.
Oh yeah.
And Seth sort of looks out, and then it cuts to like. Al looking out, almost as if they're looking at each other, even though they aren't because they're in that. But it's almost connected, so in like a connection between the two. As if you can feel
the juxtaposition of the shots.
Yes, which is very similar. It's even similar in the placing where Al's looking over the balcony of when he looks at the Reverend.
Oh yes.
So there are a lot of similarities between this one and that one.
Yeah.
They're both incredible episodes. This one is probably better.
Yeah.
It's so sad and it's just an incredible episode. It gets to a lot of the themes of the show of coming together as a community. It's brilliantly edited.
Yeah.
The funeral scene where it's so many. That must have cost a fortune.
That must have done, yeah. I was reading in the AV Club reviews that the reason why the show must have just kept on, the budget must have just kept escalating is because like they introduce these little side characters and then they become like main characters.
Yeah.
Or like just part of the cast, so we just hire them as like full-time actors.
Yeah.
So that's probably why like the show kept skyrocketing. I remember the cost of all the extras and all the costumes and I like all the things. Yeah. I like all the stuff of them preparing for the funeral as well.
Yeah.
You can't wear nothing new to a funeral.
Yeah.
Which Okay.
Yeah, well, it's all about the different sort of superstitions around death, isn't it? And like the way she pours the whiskey outside the...
Oh, yeah, don't want no evil to come in here.
Yeah, she's pouring it out and stuff. Yeah, there's a lot of the episodes about death and the community and how to move forwards from it.
Yeah.
I read a good thing, interpretation of season 2 is about how within tragedy, sort of more good comes out of people and people galvanise within tragedy, and it ultimately is a way for people to move forwards.
Yeah.
Like, this is, the last episode had a good example where it's the first time that Alma calls Sophia her daughter.
Oh, yeah.
Rather than calling her Sophia.
Yeah.
This one had another one where she finally accepts the marriage proposal of Ellsworth.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we can see a bit more moving from that.
Life is short.
Life is brief.
So take it by the balls.
Exactly, take it by the balls. And again, that monologue as well from season 7.
Yeah.
We're gonna see it's all coming together now. It's a really weird season of television because thematically it's been moving to this point where it can make these sweeping things about death and life and how we move forward. Like the last line of the episode is where Bullock and Mrs. Bullock, I can't remember, Martha Bullock, are in the bedroom. They're both
She's packing up and she's about to go.
And he's like, any way we can live like we are now, trying to find some way to move forward and live the life that they've made within Deadwood. It's fucking beautiful, man.
Yeah, man.
But like, the whole season has been building up to this point where they can make those kind of things and it can talk about death and all that, but not in a plot way. It's sort of almost like haphazardly, it feels haphazard.
Yeah.
Like, episode 1 of this is about things that have no relation to this in a way. Like, remember episode 1 where it's all about Alan Bullock fighting?
Yeah, that's not even a thing anymore.
It's not a thing, they're like friends.
Yeah.
They talk to each other and they do all this stuff. And
they hang out and... Yeah.
And it's all natural. Like, they were going to try to kill each other in the first episode, now they're like almost best friends they've got within the camp.
Yeah.
They're both equals because they've managed to put their petty grievances aside for the good of community.
That is, yeah, it's great.
It is, it's absolutely amazing. And you see, this is another reason why it's such a great show. It's got this positive message about coming together as a community, and the funeral almost galvanises that, making this episode like a mission statement for the whole season. So yes, what would you give it out of 10? It's the Big 10.
Big 10.
Another absolutely incredible season 2 episode.
I can't wait to see how it all going to end.
Exactly. What do you think of season 2 so far? It's pretty good, isn't it?
I loved it. It's needless to say, it's been a phenomenal season of television.
Yeah.
One of the best seasons of television I've ever seen.
Yeah.
It's so dense. There's so many things going on. It's such great characters and great plot lines, and it's riddled with humour and life, and death. It's everything you want from a TV show.
Everything you want from any work of art.
Yeah, it's pretty much everything you want.
Exactly. It's novelistic in its plotting and dialogue, but also intensely human, and it's just beautiful, man. Just watch it, and then stay tuned for Boy the Earth Talks 2, the brilliant season 2 finale. I mean, there's so much to look forward to. There's the fight between Mr. Wu and Mr. Lee.
Oh, that's going to kick off.
There's George Hurst. There's the marriage of Ellsworth and Alma. Oh, so many great stuff in the next episode, so yes. And then we'll try and unpack the entire fucking season and do a review of all of it, man. Just like with season. Hopefully it'll be 45 minutes with season 1
I think so, yeah. Yeah.
We can beat that. This is much denser and more. Yeah. But yes, absolutely incredible episode of television. An easy 10 out of 10. Just fucking watch it.
Stay tuned.